Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday night segment of the Outer Realm right here on the United Public Radio Network, UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 FM from the Gulf Coast, 107.7 FM from beautiful New Orleans. We are fully sponsored by the amazing people over at Folgers Coffee who have been a part of our journey for at least 6-7 years now. So thank you, Folgers. We couldn't do it without you, nor would we want to. Also, huge thank you to Justin Snicker, aka Dr. Snick, the sonic surgeon, for the contribution of his time, his music, and his voice for the intro you just heard. He is an award-winning composer of Halloween, horror, sci-fi, and dark wave electronic music, which can be found on all of your favorite music streaming platforms. Also, big thanks to Steve McGinnis, the artist behind the logos here at the show. Check him out on Facebook and Instagram. Also does horror and Halloween genre and some incredible commission pieces of any sort. You really need to check out the pet stuff. There's great pet portraits. Love you, Steve. Anyway, tonight, welcoming for the first time, Jennifer Jurkofsky. And you guys are going to be seeing a lot more of this lady on our network. She's got not one, not two, but 3 shows that are going to be joining us. And show number 1 will be starting on the 25th. So be sure to tune in. Anyway, tonight we're going to be talking about her book, The Lyran Legacy, which essentially is like book number 1. So it's going to be a series, Starlit Paths. I love it. It's very metaphysical, science fantasy tale, blends ancient wisdom, Starseed origins, all the stuff we love. Soul Deep Love reveals rise and fall of ancient civilizations and visionaries and soul guides, you name it. She is a licensed psychotherapist, spiritual counselor, intuitive life coach whose work blends mental health, consciousness studies, and interstellar readiness. She serves as a special advisor for human development and interstellar contact readiness in Canada with the Alliance is an Earth-based elder on the Galactic Elders Council, guiding planetary and individual consciousness towards alignment with cosmic principle. And of course, she's an author, and there's a whole lot of goodness all wrapped up in there. And you can catch that on her website or in the show description, and you'll find the website there as well. And if you remember, we talked about the Galactic Alliance with Sylvain Rochon. It was a fantastic, really a fantastic interview. And they're going to have a show here on United Public Radio, and we're going to be finding out a lot more about this incredible organization. So without further ado, Jennifer, hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my goodness. The pleasure is all mine. I have been looking forward to this amid all the chaos and our back and forth. And it's exciting. I've never actually spoken about Lyrans per se. People come on and have had so many experiences with different races of beings, and you have your typical ones. Every now and then you'll get a mantis or you'll get a reptilian, but I mean you just have your general, your general races that seem to be out in the forefront a little bit more, unlike Lyrans.
Mm-hmm. It's true. We hear a lot about the Pleiadians. They're involved in so much right now. You have Taurans and, even, yes, the Mantis are showing up quite a bit more today. And, I hear people talking about their experiences with them, but the Lyrans are not showing up as often. And there's lots of reasons for that. And part of what I, talk about in the book with
Yes.
our, the great scattering, our diaspora, where we end up, kind of all over the galaxy, has a lot to do with that.
Wow. Definitely a lot going on with this incredible race. And where I like to start off with, if it's okay with you, is what I call humble beginnings. And in this case, in respects to when you had awareness that you had this incredible, connection, which began this journey that you're on.
Yeah, humble beginnings indeed. It's interesting. I have had experiences my whole life, not specifically with extraterrestrial races, but just with other dimensional beings.
Right.
That is something that has been in my experience. Hello to everybody.
I'm just flashing and acknowledging. Yeah.
The warm welcomes.
I know. Hi, everybody.
For a long time as a child, it was really quite scary to have these experiences and not really know what they were about. And so I got to a point where I kind of cut off my connection. I didn't want to see, I didn't want to experience. And over the years, I came to opening back up to that. And part of that opening was having dreams of different experiences again. And so this lifetime came to me initially in a dream where I first have conscious remembering of tapping into the Akashic records. And I was able to see many lifetimes. So at that point, this was one of many lifetimes that I was able to experience. And I didn't see the significance of it at that point. It was just, this is one of, and I thought, some of these other ones are really interesting. And I kind of dove into those and explored those. But then this one kept coming back. And every time it came back, I got very clearly, write this down. And so this whole book started as a writing down my dreams, my memories as they would come back.
That's amazing that you can remember, because I find as you get older, it's harder to remember the most basic of dreams. But I think, the substantial ones, there's just some that stick out more than others. So for you, were you aware that were you a contactee before the dreams, or did all of this come before and make you become aware of everything else?
I think that this opened my awareness.
Okay.
I believe I probably was in contact before. Like I said, I had experiences of other things, and I knew that I was tapping into other dimensional beings and realities, but I don't think I had the discernment at that point to know specifically what I was tapping into or what I was experiencing.
Yes.
If that came when all of these lifetimes and experiences started to unfold, and I could recognize, okay, I realized that this experience was, connected to maybe some other dimensions. And then this one was probably extraterrestrial. And so being able to see.
Yes. I think it's wonderful. Wayne says he used to have numerous dreams about humanoid cat beings between 1983 and 1984. And when he started to write them down, they all stopped.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. First I hear that. That's pretty interesting for sure. So what were the earliest, I guess your earliest dreams, maybe memories? What were you seeing at first? And seeing these amazing beings,
Yeah. I'm going to keep talking while I let the dog out of my office.
Oh, it's no problem. It's no problem.
But Yeah. So my
Oh, the petlets.
the first the first thing that came through actually was the wars. So the first thing that I remembered was about the Orion Wars, the Galactic Wars, which I write about in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really interesting. So my my friend and I, who is actually going to be my co-host on the first show that we're going to be starting, Tanis, and I do card readings together. And after we would do the readings, online for people, we would do readings for each other. And she kept pulling this card for me saying, your family is safe. We want you to know that they're protected. They're okay. And I kept going, I know my family's fine. I don't know why I keep getting this card. No sense to me. And then I had that dream, and it didn't register the significance of it, but it kept coming back, that lifetime. And one day she pulled the card again, and I just broke down. I knew in that moment what the card was talking about, and it wasn't talking about this life. It was talking about that life.
Wow.
And I think that was the moment where everything clicked, and the significance of it, because I'm getting that card in this lifetime for that lifetime. And we know that everything is parallel because time is not as we perceive it to be. But in that moment, I went, oh, okay, there is some significant things with this lifetime that are meant to come forward. And I still didn't understand why, but I knew that there was a significance to it.
Wow. Yeah, I think I call it the knowing. Things just present themselves, and it's just something that comes from within. You just know with all that you are, that you have this intense connection, and it doesn't always make itself known until you are, the certain time, certain place, and all of a sudden that light goes off. So you had this moment. It's like, oh my God, this epiphany. It's like, I understand. It's incredible. Too cute to I love that. I had a Lyran past life memory surface before I knew anything about them. I had to find through Google. I just got the Lyran Legacy book in the mail yesterday.
Oh, yay. I'm so glad that you've gotten it. Yeah, it's interesting because so much of the information that came through in the book, I'm a bit of a science geek. I loved checking things and seeing what's there. And so a lot that came through in terms of our galactic history, it would come in and I'm like, no, are you kidding me? That's not, no. So I'd start looking, and I ended up buying a ton of astrology books and figuring out what, astronomy and what happened. And, did this actually happen? And I had to deep dive. And sure enough, I was like, oh, there it is there, and so science is starting to see that some of these things, are there. I remember, talking to somebody, and we were talking about one of the sections is called Arcturus Stream. And they said, are you sure that's what you meant to title that? And I said, yeah. I said, I was given the information that this stream actually wasn't part of our galaxy before. It had come into our galaxy billions of years ago. And what they had given me is that it came in as a counter to when the reptilians sent, who became the Draconians, through a portal in the Draco system into our system. And so they came in as an energetic counterbalance at that time.
Wow.
Okay, this is really fascinating, but where's the proof?
Yeah, show me.
Sure enough, the Draco system has a mini galaxy in it. And and the Arcturus stream has been proven to not have originated in our system. And I went, okay, I'm not going to ask any more questions.
Oh my God.
Of course, I still did, but
yeah. How do you not? I think people are so intrigued with things like that. There's just something about, I think, and I'm sure a lot of it is what you're reading out there right now. And I find it interesting on the timing as well, when you're, getting into the Orion Wars and things like that. You're thinking, does history have a way of repeating itself? And here we are. So, that is always, the timing to me is always interesting.
And that was exactly it. Here we
Yeah.
are. We recognize the divisiveness in the energy of the world right now.
Yeah.
And that is exactly why they were pushing and saying, this has to come out now, because it's like we are given an opportunity to recognize the patterns from the past and not repeat them.
Yes. Somebody didn't get the memo because it's repeating itself for sure.
It is.
I just want to put up this comment. We need to unlearn some things about what's taught in school and about our galactic history.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even if they even taught it at all. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think that they do. Everything is so regulated. It's almost like you're educated in a certain way. And like anything, if you listen to this show, you realize how much actually is hidden. And when people look shocked when it starts surfacing, they're like, because it seems so far out there after a while. And this is definitely a thing. Wayne says science fiction is a gentle way of bringing the truth to the masses.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Jennifer has a great voice and is enveloped in white light. Yes, she is. And you could start seeing her Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Cat's another, Paranormal Hearts, another show on the network.
Oh, wonderful. I'm looking forward to checking out the shows on the network too.
Oh, you're going to love them. And you'll find there's a lot of crossovers. And Paranormal Heart is here. And Ethereal Encounters Carol Ann is here as well. So everybody's tuning in. Give you a nice warm welcome. There we go.
I'm honored.
Yay! Yeah, I know. It's great, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I loved when I first checked out the network, when it was Karen Swine who introduced us.
Yes.
And so I started to kind of look into it and check it out. And I thought, oh, I love this network and what you are doing and putting in the world, and all of you who have shows on it, from what I was able to see, and looked at a couple past episodes of what I was able to. And it was just wonderful. And I feel very blessed to be able to be a part of this.
Thank you. Well, big welcome to you. We always say we're the UPRN family. So we really are. You'll see, you ever get caught in a pinch and you're just like, can you just come on and, I need a guest last minute. You'll see people just, yep, no problem. Like everybody's got each other's back. Our chat family, you see multiple shows just getting shared up all over the place. Everybody contributes, which is really something to see,
Beautiful.
But we are at least 35 shows strong here. And by the end of March, I won't be surprised if we're closer to between 40 and 45 at this stage. So you asked, we listen. I know. So as a contactee, what type of experiences have you had? Have they been Lyran, or have you had other type of experiences?
A little bit of all of it. So I do have some contact with Lyrans, working with the Elders Council. The Lyrans are a part of that, as well as many other races. And that was a really interesting experience for me when I was first inducted into that, because that was before I had the first dreams of this. So Tanis was teaching a class. Well, Tanis had some energy come in. It's called Nocti. It's grief relief. And the energy is it's like Reiki for healing, but it has more of a kinetic feel to it. And so we were in the class, and I had been sitting there, and I had this mudra that they had given me, and I was just sitting there holding it. And on the break, I said, Tanis, stay on for a minute. I have to show this to you. And I showed it to her, and we both did it. And immediately we were both gone. And she was with the Galactic Federation, and I went to the Elders Council. And we both had our own unique experiences.
Mhm.
And I came back, and the class, had come back from their break, and they're just sitting there looking at us, not in our body in that moment. And we were able to share. And I remember being told that I was part of the council still as an earth representative in this lifetime, but that I was also going to be connecting with the lifetime that I was a part of it. I had no idea what they were talking about at all. I was like,
Oh, whimsical, and you're like, not. Yeah.
okay, cool. Something's
Yeah.
going to happen. No idea.
Right.
And it wasn't until this lifetime really came through that I went, oh, now I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I understand. But that was one of the first experiences where it was very clearly a galactic experience, but I still did not have an understanding of what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And they, ask, would you like to be? And I don't know. What is this? What do you mean? What do you want me to be doing? What does it entail?
You tell me. Yeah. Right. So
Mhm.
do you find you have those nights where you go to sleep? Because this has happened to me, and I wake up and I'm even more tired than I was when I went to sleep, and I felt like I had just been doing stuff and working. It got so bad, Jennifer, that I laid down at night and I could feel, I knew it was when it was going to happen, because you hear them, right? And I'm just like, I'm too tired. I have a headache. Let me fall asleep. Then I don't care. Just take me. I just don't want to know about it. It's like
I've
I
had
just
those
can't do it anymore.
experiences. There was a couple where I remember waking up and they were doing some work, and I just went, oh no. Oh, no, no. If I wake up, you can't be doing this. You have to have me so out. Put me in a healing bed. Put me somewhere. Do not let me wake up again to this experience.
I know. Sometimes it's like I don't think they realize that life here is a lot harder. It's just the
The debt.
physical realm. It feels like you're just trudging through waist deep water, just trying to get through life. There seems to be a resistance to that energy, that feel. You can end up someplace else, and you notice it even like I in dream state or in the ether, as I say, and it doesn't feel like that. But they
No.
don't realize, or if they do, they don't care. It's just
I
like,
don't think they realize, because when we're in the astral, we're a lot more resonant to their energy.
yes.
But there is a density here that they're just not, they're not here feeling that density.
Mhm. I
Right.
know.
So even though they, are aware of it, or at least ancestrally aware of it because they've been here before,
Yes.
right?
I know.
It's not something that is in the forefront of their thinking. And so they don't, yeah, exactly, Michelle. They don't, um, you know, think about that. And so we have to
Mhm.
be really clear. You talked about, working at night, and I remember my dreams. Uh,
Yes.
yeah.
Life happens. Yes.
And
Yeah.
so I don't remember them extensively as the day goes on, but if I wake up in the morning and I actually write them down, I
Mhm.
can remember
Mhm.
what was going on. And we are working so much
Mhm.
in the astral at night. And
Mhm.
I there have been times where I've said, like, my body needs the rest.
Mhm.
So I don't mind doing anything that I need to do.
Mhm.
Have to get my body to rest.
I know. That's why I just whine. I bellyache when I know it's going to happen. But I don't just let me sleep. I don't care. Take me after. But make sure you put me back and I'm still asleep. I don't want to know. I don't mind doing my part. I just don't always want to know about it, because it can be exhausting. So this is what layman people who may be having experiences, maybe not realizing that they're having experiences. So one, um, what happens before? Like for me, for example, when they come in, everything gets really, really dark. And I hear shuffling, like, because I just tap into them. I'm like, oh, I hear shuffling about. Okay. And I always know, but it gets super, super dark. And every now and then they're there, and you turn around and there it is, or he is, or she is, or whatever the case may be. How is it for you when you know, even without seeing them, you know what's happening?
I call it being pulled.
Okay.
It's this sense of being like extracted, if you will.
Good word. Yeah.
And so it, for me, as you're saying about feeling that dark, like that kind of makes sense. I never put it in that term, but it makes sense because the senses dim
Mm-hmm.
to some degree because the other senses ignite.
Mm-hmm.
And so that pulled sensation does kind of bring the physical down a bit.
Mm.
So it
Yeah.
makes sense, that kind of darker. It's not that it's dark, it's just that we're
Yes.
dimmed.
See, for me though, it gets dark and I'm on high alert.
Okay.
I'm fully aware of everything that's going on, which is why I bellyache about it. And I just sit there and I'm just like, nope, nope, not doing it. Nope. You know. So I mean, but and Wayne's the same. He's just like, no, yeah, it's very dark tonight. I'm just like, yeah.
I was driving home last night with my eldest. We were talking a little bit before the show. I was telling you about the conversation we were having.
Mhm.
We were talking about the darkness, and it was so bad. At one point, I pulled over when I got to the school, and I wiped off my headlights,
Mhm.
like scrubbing them, and it doesn't seem like my lights are even on.
Wow.
It was just so dark, and
Mhm.
the comment, one of the comments in the full conversation was, it was like, "Mom, it feels like, in those movies when the spaceship just comes in and
Great.
everything goes dark, and you
Yeah.
and I went, "Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying here." So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that
thanks for that. Yeah. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. No, it is. It's very, very interesting. People, I think, are just starting. Like they don't know if they've had experiences. Like I never would have given it another thought. And I've been in, the paranormal field for, over 2 decades, and I've had experiences of all sorts of things. Not just extraterrestrial, but yeah, I just think that everything it all melds together. So it's very hard to say what kind of an experience you're actually going to have.
Absolutely, absolutely. When you say about, being in the paranormal world,
Mhm.
some of my first experiences, so my family also are experiencers across the board, and so
Yeah.
my mom told me a story about when she was pregnant with me and having some really dark energies come and try to get her to go, and she knew if that happened, I wouldn't make
Yeah.
it. It's these kinds of stories where you go, "Oh, thank you." Where you go, "Okay, so there is something to this." And I
Mhm.
remember as moving through and seeing different things. And we had I had actually what now I recognize was a ghost,
Mhm.
uh, but I wasn't sure what it was as a child. Again, not able to differentiate between the energies,
Mhm.
but I had one in both of my parents' homes,
Mhm.
and in my bedroom in both of my parents' homes. And being just so scared and not understanding and being able to see them, the entities. One was a family ghost that was following my mom's side that happened to be in my room.
Mhm.
Uh, and then the other one was attached to the house. And years later, my dad told me that my grandmother, his mom, told them, if you move into that house, you're going to get divorced. The ghost won't let
Oh,
you together.
wow.
I had no idea that
Yes.
was,
A thing.
I was 3 when my parents divorced.
Yes.
Right?
Wow. Wow. That's
So,
crazy.
yeah. So these
That's
experiences have been there for a long.
forever. Everything connects. It's just a whole other level altogether. And you don't realize it until you're in the midst or the thralls of it. Okay, we have a couple of questions. One is, how does one get chosen?
chosen.
Yeah. Like, yeah, Kat, can you elaborate on what you mean by chosen? As in going to work in the ether? It's just like, what do you mean? You can just
Yeah,
put that
I
in
think I
there.
need some clarity around chosen on that.
And we'll jump to the next question while we wait for her. I'm confused. Do you engage in galactic meetings sleeping or awake? If so, what is discussed? Curious because I'm in meetings awake. So it's nice to compare notes with someone.
Absolutely. So both. I've been in some where I have woken up and remembered the meeting. And then I have had other times where in my waking state, I've been, as I say, pulled, and then I end up in a meeting. So I've had both experiences. Some of them have been, just simple kind of check-in type meetings. I think there's been a couple galactic Federation type meetings that I've been a part of recently, which is just all of the different beings that are part of the Federation. But probably, I would say probably around the time when the three eye atlas. I have to think about what it represents in order to remember what it's called. When three eye atlas had first kind of showed up, and I was pulled into a meeting, and that one was not just the Federation. It was actually several different Federation type organizations of galactic. So we know that the Federation is one of, and it's the one that many people are working with, but there's actually quite a few different galactic organizations. And I remember walking well, I don't think I walked in. I think I just kind of showed up in the meeting. But I remember looking around and going, this is massive, this meeting. And it was with different groups of galactics that don't generally get together and meet. We know that even some of the reptilian draconians and all of that, they don't tend to do anything with us, and they were even there. This was a big deal meeting, kind of going, what are we going to do, what's next? And some wanted to invade. They were just saying, that's it, let's just go. And then others were going, no, we can't do that. And it was this big discussion around, how are they going to move forward with everything that's happening here?
Wow. That gets hard. You just get yanked. Okay, she's elaborating. How does one get chosen to communicate with these beings?
That's a wonderful question. I think we came in with a plan to do it. That's kind of loaded. I recognize that. So we are all connected. Some of us are new souls on Earth. Some of us have been here many times through. We've all had experiences at some point somewhere else in the galactics. And I think what ends up happening is, if it is part of our journey this time round to bring some of that energy forward, that's how we end up doing it. How we do it in terms of what connects us, I think is very different for each person. In my case, it was through my other experiences with multidimensional beings that opened me to go, okay, I'm doing this. So that when the galactic energies came in, I went, okay, I'm going to open to that. But I think it's different for everybody. I've had some people even read the book and go, I remember now. I remember my life now. And that has been, for me, an amazing honor to be able to be a part of that. And I think that's why, with the website and the book, I think you read a piece of that, Michelle, at the beginning.
Yes, it's true.
About this kind of DNA activation, because there's a remembering that happens, and then all of a sudden, it's, for me at least, all of a sudden it's like, okay, I'm open to it.
I think, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Just it is that awareness. And sometimes, like we were saying, like a few minutes back, is that it's that one instance that might be the wake up call that you need. Heidi said, for the past couple of years, myself, daughter, and granddaughter see and hear big Egyptian looking cats. And I had thought of the lions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When this energy was coming through and I was starting to recognize the connection to the Lyrans, that was when the Sechem energy really came in. And so we know Sekhmet is the lioness goddess in the Egyptian tradition. And there's, connections there with several others as well. But that energy came in so strongly. And I went, oh, there is a connection here. And so then I thought about all the Egyptian lifetimes and stuff like that. And I thought that was going to be the big to do.
Yes.
But it really led into the Lyran lifetime and experience. And so, yes, I think that there is a deep connection between the Egyptians and the Egyptian cats and the Lyrans.
I think so as well. I feel that they are connected to so many different races of beings, and along with other ancient civilizations. I mean, you see traces of it all over the place. And yet it's so hard for people right now to get their head around all of this, that maybe there was assistance in constructing all of these incredible monuments that have withstood the test of time. And we're lucky if we can build something that lasts like a couple hundred years, So
Absolutely.
I know. It's just like there's a really big difference, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and this was something, I mean, I've always loved studying, Egyptian, stories and the history there and all of that. But when the information for the book was coming through, some of the things that I was given was about some of the original Earth civilizations, right? So we talk about Lemuria, we talk about Egypt, we talk about Atlantis and the Aryan races, and we look at, what was going on, what happened, what was the galactic influence, how did the pyramids actually get built, what was the technology there? So
that's be fighting words in some communities.
It might be, but that's all in the book. And so I make it clear too, the book is my understanding that what I was given. Yes. I also recognize that there are different timelines across realities and all of that. So this is one person being's experience in the timelines and realities that I was privy to.
Yes. I love that. Well, you can only speak for yourself, I mean, and not get into trouble. So Kevin says, some of my guides are from the lion world. No stranger to all of us. I'm loving the topic.
Oh, wonderful.
So when you first saw a lion, what were your thoughts? Because, we're getting into, there's just so much history as far as, half human, half animal, and all the ancient cultures. And people will try to say, well, that's mythology. Maybe not. That's what I say. Maybe not.
Right? The first official galactic Lyran that I connected with was Master Albion, who for me is the high priest of the Lyran temple on Vega. And that was who brought me into the Elders Council. So as I shared that experience with the Elders Council, my first experience was kind of like, I'm sorry, what? You're who? You want me to do what?
Was that a movie? No. I think they called it cat people. Was that? Yeah.
But what was interesting is I wasn't taken aback, or it wasn't unfamiliar. There was still there wasn't, if I were to see in physical form, something in front of me, I think my nervous system would be a little bit more, a little bit more taken aback. Yeah. But in that moment, there was that part of me that was being activated that remembered. Right? It was in that moment of, okay, there's something here, which is why, even though I was going, what is all of this? I was open to it.
Yeah.
But I think that was because, and I think that's why it was a Lyran who came to me
Mm.
in that moment, because it was a matter of having that familiar connection
Mm-hmm.
on a very subconscious level for me in this
But it's
lifetime.
comforting because it's
But it was,
familiar.
yeah.
Right? Because human beings, I mean, we don't like change much. Some human beings do not like change. I'm okay with change if I'm going somewhere fun, but otherwise, I'm not having it. But I think
Mm,
if it's something that presents itself as something very familiar and comforting, we tend to open right up to it.
yeah.
Right? When my Lyran memory surfaced before I could even make any judgment about what I was seeing, I was flooded with overwhelming emotions. I dealt with the whole cat people thing later.
Yes, I love that. It's true.
Yeah.
Um, and the overwhelming emotion, for me, was the memories coming back of the lifetime and the experiences and what, what happened then.
Mhm.
And so there was a whole kind of healing process that I had to go through all over again,
Mhm.
because it's funny. I joke about this with the book, and some of my early readers who did some editing and stuff for me and just gave me feedback, were like, Jen, there's a lot of grief in this. I went, is there? And then, I'd get healing and go through more, and then I'd get more information, more memories coming back, kind of thing. And then I went through and re-edited the whole thing. And then as I healed, it just kept changing and changing. And so the first draft of this book was me deep in the grief of that lifetime.
Mhm.
And the
Wow.
final version of it that is out today is the healed version of, yes, there was grief and there was hardship, but this is what we do to honor that so that we can release it and then continue forward.
See, I completely resonate with that because sometimes, and I have found this out through past lives, I found this out through different experiences where you can't really go back, but there's this huge, aside from the fact that you spend part of your life feeling like there's a void, there's something missing, you don't know what it is. But then when you get that, you get this sense of mourning. I went into a mourning period because, I understand why we can't just have it all right away, because you can imagine, at least with past lives, and maybe learning that you've come from someplace else, a different race altogether, like yourself. Um, like, who did you leave behind? Who didn't come back with you? Because there's just, you still feel that small void. Like there's still players in the game that aren't there.
Yeah. And there's some significant players that are not here, but there are some that are. So Teriel, who is my best friend in the book,
Mhm.
happens to be my best friend in this lifetime.
That's awesome, though.
And that is incredible. And so it's really fascinating. This is so interesting. So because this is Tanis, who I do the podcast with, who's going to be doing the radio show with me. We have, guests on Twillo Talk, and there have been different people who have come into our experience, and it's like, I know you. And I don't know before I had this memory, I didn't know how I knew them, but I just knew that I knew their energy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then as things progressed and I was able to have more experiences, I went, oh, I know your energy now. I was able to actually identify whose energy was coming in. And so I remember one time we had Dr. Lisa Thompson on the show, and she came in, and immediately I just went, I know exactly who you are. And she's out in Hawaii, and I only met her, virtually.
Mhm.
And I said, Arcturian healer, kind of out on the outskirts,
Mhm.
actually helped Draconians who wanted to get away from the
Mhm.
war. And we all start just crying.
Wow.
And so I sent her a copy of the book. And this is the kind of stuff where I just go, okay, it is what it is. The name that I was given for her in the book is the name she had been given for who she is as an Arcturian, and we never talked about it.
That's awesome. No, I love it.
And
I
so
love it.
it's just those moments of, okay, I mean, either we're all going, wonky
Yeah.
together, or
Yes,
there is
yes.
something to this.
But isn't it a wonderful synchronicity and how you all come together with those who you're supposed to come together with?
Yeah,
When as you near that time where you all need to be aware, then all of a sudden you are.
yeah, yeah. And the
That
parallels in this lifetime to that one are also wildly synchronous. So, Lisa, who in that lifetime lived on a remote constellation planet doing work hidden away. She lives in Hawaii in this lifetime. My home was destroyed, and I went to live on Tanis's planet, Teriel's planet. I moved from where I was born to another country, which is where Tanis is. So the synchronicities are wild, even in that. And I didn't even put that together. Somebody who read the book and was watching the show put that together.
I know sometimes we fail to see the obvious, you know. But thank God for all you lovely people out there
Absolutely.
connecting the dots and you know.
Mhm.
I think it's amazing because I find that I mean realistically speaking, I don't believe in coincidences at all. I think things happen only when they're meant to, and all the players get put in position only when they're meant to, not before, not after. It's all about the timing, the frequencies, vibration, everything. The whole gambit has to fit at the right time,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. And there's no rushing it to make it happen sooner. And it doesn't matter how much we delay. If it's meant to happen, it's going to happen.
Yes, exactly right. Okay, Wayne's being a comedian. So, how do you manage your writing, galactic meetings, radio shows, and regular life without dying? Asking for a friend.
I'm not sure yet.
Life is an adventure, Wayne. The sooner you realize that, the more you'll
I'm
understand.
I'm kind of in the place right now of just buckle up and go. I'm like, you guys are taking me. Where are we going?
Yeah, see, I fit right in here. Most of us are exactly like that, without even kidding. There's so many of us on this network that are experiencers and speak very freely of it too, right? So there's not too many people you're going to talk to over here that are not going to get you. So,
Wonderful.
I know. I love it. I love
It is
it.
that feeling of coming home again.
It is. It's in a different way. And now you'll attract so many other people that you're meant to see as
Mhm.
well. So let's talk about the Galactic Alliance. We had Sylvain Rochon on, and that was very enlightening. And again, another Canadian. So I thought, oh, look at this, just going for broke. So well, let's just put it out there with you. How did you become involved in all that?
All right. So my connection with that actually was through Tanis. So Tanis got involved with the Alliance through a networking event. Um, and then I was introduced to Sylvain through her,
Yes.
which I mean is just a beautiful way of having it happen as
Mhm.
well, because Tanis, felt connected to the galactics, and I was opening, but I wasn't quite ready to embrace it. I am as you said, registered psychotherapist, certified Canadian counselor. Like I have regulatory bodies and things like that that I have to be,
You have to be
aware.
careful. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it took a lot for me to get to a place where I said, okay, I'm going to just embrace this.
Mhm.
I was very cautious. I wasn't sure how much I wanted to expose of the work that I do in other dimensions and all of that. And I was able to eventually come to a place where I went, okay, I'm going to just trust that you guys are taking care of me. If this is what I'm meant to be doing, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to embrace it, and I'm going to trust.
That's huge, because you're putting it out there. There's so many, like, I'll back up a minute. So many people will tell you, nobody's coming to save us, Jennifer. Right? So you're kind of like going, gosh. So I'm just going to sort of caution to the wind, put it out there and assume that somebody out there is going to take care of me. That's a very big step. And do you feel that they are?
Oh, absolutely. I've had experiences my whole life where I've been taken care of.
Yes.
This is a story for you. So I was in university, and we went on it was like a fall festival kind of experience. So we went on this hayride. So here we are on a hay wagon, 45 people, 45 university students, just, goofing around on the hay wagon. And I'm sitting up near the front. So that's the tractor, and then the wagon starts, and I'm sitting right up there. And one of the hay bales that's used as the edge starts to fall off. And so I reach over with a friend, and we pull the hay bale back on. Well, somebody pulled it so hard that I actually fell off the wagon between the tractor and the wagon, landed on the ground underneath, and got run over twice. But I saw an angel come and lay over top of me. That wagon rolled over me once. They realized, oh no, something happened. But by the time it stopped, the second wheel had gone over my body. I got up.
Wow.
I danced for the next couple hours until they convinced me to go to the hospital. The hospital checked me out. The only thing I had was a bruise on my elbow.
That's well taken care of, I'd say.
So I do believe that I am well taken care of.
Yes. Yes. Which is good, because you don't want that whole loosh thing going on. that negativity and, having all these negative ethereals going, look, a buffet. So, yeah.
No, not at all. I mean, and even simple things. I remember one day I had made banana bread for the kids and and I guess the kids had finished it off in the morning, and I didn't realize it. And I went, oh man, I was really looking forward to some banana bread. All right, whatever. Went about, my business, cleaning up in the kitchen. Then the knock on the door, my neighbor comes in. I just made this banana bread. I can't eat it all. Do you want some? Yes, thank you very much.
Yes, beautiful thing. Yay for the neighbors.
But it's incredible, even in the simple things, right? I mean, we can have these amazing, experiences like the wagon where, I'm in awe of that experience. But then even just these simple ones where there's even just a desire. I didn't need to have any.
Yes. It's
Universe,
little things.
love.
I think it's because they're humble. It's a humble request. You're not asking for like $1 million or something. It's just like, it's a humble request, just bloody banana bread. So it's like an easy enough fix, right? But I think we get so busy in life. I think we fail to see those little things, such as these experiences. I've had incredible experiences like that my entire life, and I always have had so much gratitude for them. And every now and then, I mean, I am, extremely, extremely busy, and I fail, and I know better, and I fail to see the obvious at times. So, we have to slow down more than anything. We need to slow down.
Absolutely.
Now, when you talk about, I'll back up again a little bit about the Galactic Federation. How long has this actually been in place? Like, who started the Galactic Federation?
Okay, so I do actually talk about this in the book.
Yes. I know.
So during I'm going to back up. So in the book, I talk about our experience of bringing the Federation to life. And I say ours, I'm telling the story from the perspective of me in that lifetime. And I tell a lot about Teriel because we worked so closely together. But there's so many more people that were a part of that. But it started like a generation before. So our parents and those who were close to them in the different races were trying to build the Federation. It was because of the war and what was happening, they recognized that they needed to come together and form something that had a collective understanding, a charter and a way of making decisions and doing things. And so that was the start of it. And at that point in time, there were a lot of councils and things like that on each of the planets with all of the different races, but there wasn't a collective yet. They were just starting to bring that together through different meetings. I talk about some of the interstellar bases that were there, where there was gathering between different races. And so it was beginning to form. But in the book, I share about how we brought it all together. I talk about how the Galactic Codex actually came to be. And so I don't know how much how much to give away.
It's entirely up to you. It's your book.
Yeah. So we had been working on forming the Federation. And so there were a lot of different races that had agreed that they wanted to be a part of it. And so it really started with lots of really long meetings of us talking, sharing concerns, sharing what we would like to see in terms of, charters and rules to live by, if you will, but not rules, more like guidelines, values, things that were important to us that we wanted to make sure that everybody who was a part of what was formed was willing to honor. And so through all of that, we kind of figured out everybody who wanted to be a part of it at that time. It's grown so much since then. Mm-hmm. But in the process of doing that, some things had come to light that we had to navigate other groups, as I was, saying earlier, that were also working to try to deal with the war, but we're trying to do it in ways that didn't honor the values that we were trying to bring forward. One of those groups was the Coalition of Free Systems. And so at one point in the story, you'll read about how we ended up connecting with them and the guidelines that we were using. It came to light that these really needed to be a codex. We needed to actually put down what these guiding values were meant to be and have everybody agree and sign that. And so as that came forward, one of the final meetings was where we addressed all of that. And then everybody who wanted to be a part of the Federation had representatives that came in and signed the codex. And that was originally how the Federation came to be.
Wow. And how long has it been put in place?
This was billions of years ago.
Right. Okay, so a long time. We could leave it there. So what because, you've had the Orion Wars, you've had the Draconian Wars. Like, was the Reliance or the Alliance Galactic Federation put into place before this, or are these just the bad seeds just going ahead and despite of all of this effort, they came in and decided to still wreak havoc?
So, yeah, I don't actually remember how much I got into this. I'm trying to think. So what ended up happening with the wars, because it was really there, I do talk about both sides, and I talk about the different races that were supportive of the Draconians, whether that was through coercion or through choice. Mm-hmm. And so as that shifted, there were several that wanted to join the Federation, and there were some that did not. And so the Draconians and those that wanted nothing to do with the Federation and that were still left, because that's a whole other piece of the history, but that were still left here, they formed their own coalition, their own group. And so for a while, there was an uneasy truce, but there was no agreement between them. And it actually wasn't until more recently, and I say recently, but like, you guys have to give me a number because I don't remember what we said before. Maybe like a couple thousand years, if that,
Yes.
where they actually signed an agreement. They weren't going to join the Federation or be a part of it, but they agreed to peacefully cohabitate.
Right. Right.
But that doesn't
Yes.
mean that there isn't still other things happening in the background, because they don't follow the same codex, which talks about, you know, sovereignty and not intruding and or, you know, trying to make things be a certain way. So this is a very different, you know, we talk about interference, and so there is still interference here from different energies, because they don't follow the same agreements.
Right. So it doesn't apply to them based on, you know, their perspective. So, I mean, how many of you know, these races, I mean, I say this probably all kinds here, you know, we always look to the stars to see where everybody is, but I think we have many here. I think we have, you know, many on different planets within our solar system, possibly. They all need the same environment that we need.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you think about different races that can live on stars, let alone planets. So we know that they don't need the same things that we need. And there are, I mean, it's interesting. I remember I was on a podcast with Beyond Being Human. So I work with them too. And we had some different people in, and there was one person, I'm trying to remember his name, but he writes about different experiences and you know, stories of experiencers. And I remember he was talking about how they were saying that, you know, a lot of people were saying that, you know, spaceships can't be around right now because of different things that are happening in the atmosphere and stuff like that. And it was really interesting because I mean, I've experienced spaceships over my house. I've experienced them, you know, we were talking the show, you were sharing how you've experienced them as well. And so we know they are here. And so I just find it really interesting when we look at, you know, who is here and what is here. I don't think that we fully know, but I think a big part of why they're not coming yet or revealing themselves in this 3D way yet is because they haven't been met with light, love, compassion. You know, we know disclosure is happening more and more, and we're getting information, and we know that there's governments around the world that are not handling contact well.
No. Well, I think you have you have control. Hello.
Hello.
I think we have control from all sides. Nobody wants to relinquish the power and the control to the potential that there may be something greater, more powerful, more able to control the narrative. You know?
Well, and there's influences of control. You know, I talk a lot in the book about service to others versus service to self, right? The ideology that actually caused the war. And those are here. Both of those are here. And a whole scale of everything in between.
Yes, I agree. I'm a big service to others. You know, I put a lot of time out in that, and it's amazing. Mind you, I say it's amazing how many people don't, but there's not many people that don't even participate in their own lives. It's just like we're just in this, like they're in this void, and you have people who are all about themselves. People just don't seem to be all about much. They just exist and then the doers who are out there just trying to do for others. And I think if you're looking maybe for your, as Kat was saying earlier, to be chosen to do something, you need to look at the people who are able, with the intuition, the people who are the do for others without question. I think you need to start looking there potentially. And I love this comment, recognizing hybrids more. What are your thoughts
Yes.
on hybrids?
Yeah. Thank you, Hypnicity, for sharing that. It's fascinating because we do have a lot of hybrid energies here.
Yes.
And we have a lot of people who have experienced hybrid children who are not here.
Yes. Yes. Correct.
Right?
Correct. Yeah, we definitely know it's a thing for sure.
Mm.
I'm feeling a huge pull from Atlantis and hearing warnings from them about AI.
Yeah.
So
Atlantis has a lot of warnings for us.
yes.
When we recognize Atlantis and Atlantis's story and how their shift from continuing with the spiritual aspects of what technology can bring to the power aspects of what technology can bring
Yes.
caused a lot of corruption and destroyed part of our earth. So we know that they have a lot of wisdom in their warnings because they've been there, done that.
Yes. Yes. So pay attention. Oh God. So let's jump to your motive, your reasoning for wanting to write this book. Why was it important to write? Beyond the memoir.
Yeah, originally, because I was told to. And I just do
All
what I'm
right.
told.
That's right. That's usually enough.
But also because it's important.
Mhm.
It is important for many reasons. And the biggest one, I think, goes back to what I was saying earlier about it being an activation. That this book was meant to come forward to activate people to their galactic lineage so that they could tap into, my whole body is vibrating right now, so that they could tap into that aspect of themselves and bring that energy forward so that we can embody that light and love that is needed in the world today. And ultimately, that's what it's for.
Mhm. And awakenings. You're hoping this is going to bring on that wave of awakenings. So
Yeah.
I don't know, like in your everyday life, do you deal with people who are awakening in this way?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I've had, as I said, people come back from reading the book and say,
Mhm.
I remember, it's brought this up. I want to talk about this.
Mhm.
I'm recognizing my galactic lineage now, which I never thought
Mhm.
about before. And that has been a beautiful journey to be a part of for people.
Mhm.
Uh, but also in my practice, I advertise myself as the Lightworkers psychotherapist
Right.
because I work with people on this journey who are opening to it, who are just understanding it, who are having experiences of other dimensional beings, and hold that space
Mm.
for them to come home to themselves on every level of what that means. And
Yeah,
so,
so you have a better understanding of it now as to being able to advise or understand where they're coming from.
mhm,
Yeah.
absolutely. And to understand what it is to do, healing multidimensionally through our lineages, all of that. I bring family constellations into my work because um, goosebumps, Hypnicity, thank you. Because I find that, the more that we allow ourselves to tap into the energies that are around us, the more access we have to healing deep wounds,
Mm.
whether they are things that we've brought through karmically from other lifetimes or things that have come through generationally. We have access to all of that if we're willing to step outside the box a little bit.
Mhm. It's a tough one. I mean, there are people who don't even know what they're experiencing in that moment. Some people will look at, when you talk about these memories that you're having through dreams, and like for me, they started much like that, but then started being almost visions. Like I
Mhm.
was well aware of them. I don't remember dreams per se much, but I do remember the visions and the downloads or visitations, things with significance. Right,
Mhm.
and you can smell everything, you could feel like you're practically touching it, right? But if you don't know what you're looking for, like, what would you say to somebody who just they don't know what they're looking for? They might be thinking, "That was a wild dream," or "That was a past life," or
Mhm.
"That was a premonition," or "Holy, I was an
Yeah.
alien." Like
Well, and again, if you're really, new to this or haven't been open to or experienced it, there's a lot of people who have these experiences and then think they're having a psychosis,
Oh,
right? They
yes.
feel like,
Yes.
I'm not okay.
Right.
And so, again, that ability to really be gentle and hold that space and go, okay, what is coming forward for you? Let's unpack it. Let's see how it feels. When you
Mhm.
sit with that in your body, how does that feel?
Mhm.
The mind can do all kinds of things with it and cause us to think, we're
Yeah. Yeah.
but when you sit with it in the body, and I know, we were talking about it and some of the comments were talking about it,
Mhm.
you just get that moment of, no, this just feels right. It feels correct in my body.
Mhm.
And then we're able to go, okay, mind, we can work through this.
Yes, yes. Therefore, research it.
Yeah.
You know, people will lean to dream interpretation, but I think maybe they need to start. Maybe that's a start. I don't know.
Mhm.
And as Herb says right here, always pay more attention to the signs and synchronicities. Do you think they speak to us via synchronicities and numbers and things like that?
Absolutely. I mean, the synchronicities I've experienced with all of this, even
Mhm,
just in the way that, energies have been brought together has been
mhm,
incredible.
mhm,
And, if you're not sure, how to interpret or what to do with the dreams or experiences, the way that I look at dreams, and this is again my experience with them, but I find that we can have dreams where, you know, as Jung says, we're working through
yeah,
we're working through our subconscious and we're dealing with it and all of that. And those dreams have interpretive meanings for understanding what we're processing. But then we have dreams where we are traveling in the astral and we are doing different things in the astral. We have dreams where we're doing what I call world work, where we're here, but we're doing spiritual work on the planet.
mhm,
And then we have dreams where we are doing
mhm,
other work and we're being
yes,
brought to different places to do different things. And I think that they all have a purpose. And so we have the potential to be experiencing many different kinds of dreams.
mhm. Yeah, I would agree with that as well. I think as well that they lean towards what we do in life. I've always been, I mean, an advocate of a warrior to help those who just have, come under attack from energies that they don't know what to do with. That's easy for me. I'm an energy worker, light worker. I can do shadow work. I can do light work. I love doing planetary things. That's my go-to for quite a while now. And I find that when I get approached, a lot of times it's either for a rescue of sorts from, you know, whomever may come through and just bark
Mhm.
at me or ask nicely, or sometimes they come in that vision where I turn around and I'm like, "Oh, hello," and full on. Like I recall every bit of it, and I can go in and easily find what I need to find. And I think that that's huge. So if you're doing something, if there's something that you guys out there are doing energetically speaking, I think you will be called on to do the same sort of thing, you know,
Mhm.
on that side of
Absolutely.
things. Yeah. Right. So you're a counsel. So you just go in there, mediate.
Do mediate sometimes.
Oh, see?
Sometimes I'm in that position of mediation and I'm going, and again, it's funny. Tannis, I joke all the time. It's like, I'm just me in my basement. Like, what? Right? It's like, who am
Yeah.
I to be in here doing this thing? And yet energetically it's in alignment,
Mhm.
right? And
Yes.
that's one thing that I love about the galactic energy and understanding that we don't have here is that everything, it doesn't matter what it is,
Mm.
everything is of equal importance. There is
Yeah.
no, this thing is better than that thing, or, oh, well, this is all high and mighty because you did this and somebody, no,
Mhm. Mhm. We are
everything was
one. We are
exact.
one. Yeah. Right. So if you go in with that attitude, you hurt the collective. You have to work with it.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's really difficult. So let's look at the next generation. I mean, all races, but you make mention of the Lyrans and their star seeds. And then we've got these indigo children, these crystal children, like the next generation. What are their hopes for this next generation? Because apparently we just aren't getting it right fast enough. So
Well, I think there's a collective shift that's coming in terms of even just our makeup and how we are in the world. And the idea, my understanding again, of what is shifting is that we are moving from the mind being the end all and be all of our decision making to
Mhm.
really tapping into the heart and what it is to honor our emotions and our experiences and to be able to connect in a more I'm just feeling this like allness,
Yeah.
right, to be able to connect in this genuine fashion where we're not filtering everything
Mhm.
anymore. And so a lot of the children that are coming in with this more galactic understanding and resonance within them are
Mhm.
holding space for this transition to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, well, the next generation has to get it right because I don't know why, I mean, do you feel in this shift that we're going to be asked to join this Galactic Federation, or is Earth already part of this Galactic Federation?
There are a lot of actually, when I stepped in with the Alliance, I realized there's a lot of people who are galactic ambassadors and are representatives on Earth
Mhm.
for the galactic councils. We actually were talking with the Alliance, so anybody here who sees themselves as a galactic ambassador or getting those messages, please reach out, because we were talking about pulling together all of these galactic ambassadors and having a meeting where we all
Mhm.
talk about what are the messages that we're getting. Is it all aligned? Does this
Mhm.
make sense? Can we map this out?
Mhm.
And
But do
so
they even know? Like, you may have somebody who's total, you know, galactic ambassador material. And meanwhile, they barely just scratch the surface of having an understanding of who they are.
yeah, but if they're meant to be a part of it, it will unfold.
Yeah. It always finds a way, doesn't it? It always finds a way.
Mhm.
Yeah, it gets. I think that's the thing, is just trying to get people to awaken. Please invite me. uh, uh, yeah, I think during this time of awakening, there are a lot of shifts happening, and even though there is this mindset that these nobody from these races are really going to come forward and save the day, so to speak. Do you get any insight into that? Like, we know that they were instrumental in our past. They
Absolutely.
engineered or they altered things. Is that a continuation, and will they see it through to the end?
Yeah. What I was given on this, and was that because of the things that had happened in the past and the way that they had gotten involved and had helped civilizations to exponentially grow way too quickly into advanced understanding, that they are going very, very, very slow with us.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yeah, they definitely are going very slow. You know, nobody's throwing caution to the wind. Let's put it that way. you know, but I feel like maybe they're getting a lot of resistance from this end as well. And this seems to be an age old problem that keeps going on. Even as I went through your book, it's just like this is like an age old problem. The Lyran people had the same challenges that we have today. They still had their same worries. They still like, oh no, war, like this was an ongoing thing. Like this is the age old story that affects everybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you are in the universe. This is just an ongoing thing. How does anybody get this to just stop?
Well, and this is the thing, and I remember at one point, I remember where I was on with somebody, and they made a comment about how, people talk about how we have to be this like enlightened race before they're going to come down, and yet they're also dealing with all of this. And it's true because
Yeah.
they're also having these experiences. And the Federation, which has, their charters and their codex and all of that, they
Mhm.
follow a set guideline. But because a lot of the other, races don't,
Mhm.
there is this constant energetic battle for
Mhm.
how we are. And so I don't know that everything has to be perfect or that we have to be at peace or that we have to be all enlightened before they come down. I think we just have to be open,
Mm.
right?
Awareness, right? That's a big one. But I think you stand a better chance if you are all love and light.
Oh, well, that would be wonderful.
Wouldn't it? Because, nobody wants to take a chance with, letting all the heathens on board.
Well, and here's the thing, right? As long as we are in a place where we don't even honor other human life
Mhm. Thank you. That's
as
true. That's true.
sovereign and
Mhm.
worth living,
Mhm.
why on earth would another race come in and go, "Hey, how's it
Mhm.
going? We're here," right? If we
Yeah.
can't be kind to each other, not even to the enlightened piece, we can't even be nice to each other. Generally speaking, there's
Mhm.
still wars happening. And, we know that, there's just a lot of that service to self energy in the world right now.
Too much.
And
I'm
that's the
Mhm.
shift.
I mean, when they're looking at the state of the world, they're kind of going, what are they doing? They
Mhm.
can't get along. You have a select few trying to just suppress the rest. How do you? I mean, you are dealing with beings who are already at an evolved state for the most part, right? Even the ones that are here. There are
Mhm.
some who are a lot more evolved than others. Mind you, you sort of get, the more the tyrants that are here as much as you have the rescuers. When I look at the Hopi, and all of their ancient traditions, and then you look at, people of Peru, way back, they faced cataclysm and it was the reptilians who helped them. I
Yeah,
mean, there are good ones here, but
absolutely.
there's the controlling factions, I think, that are making it difficult. You think that since they evolved us, or some of us, to the point, the some of us, to the point where, thinking, okay, you know what, we did interfere. Should we interfere again and
Mhm.
just fix this once and for all? Because we sort of were instrumental in putting it to this point.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be wonderful to just
Sure. I'm down. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I also, recognize, and I do talk about this in the book,
Mhm.
that hardship, difficult things, our mind categorizes this is good, this is bad,
Mhm.
this is right, this is wrong. And yet it's through the difficult things that we evolve. It's through the challenges that we grow. And
true.
so, is it really in anyone's best interest to just completely eradicate challenge? No. So, to what degree do they then make that call? When is it too much?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
It's
not
too
privy to
much.
that answer.
It's too much.
I think so
There's
sometimes.
there's a lot of kids here that don't know how to play nice in the sandbox, and the rest of us are getting sand thrown at them. We're just like fed up, plucking sand out of your hair every day. But I mean, I think somewhere along the line something has to give. But you know what? It was enlightening, to get these parts of your book where it resonates because it's like it had such a human feel to it. They went through so much with growth and with just learning and war and fears and like the family, the connections. And
Mhm.
you're reading this going, this is a whole world away. And yet it's all things that we are going through that we can relate to. So I feel anybody reading your book will pick up on that as well and feel like they're very much not alone.
Oh, wonderful. That is the hope, right? To understand on a deeper, deeper level that, we're
Mhm.
all in this together.
Yes, it's true. Nobody's coming to get us, guys. Nobody is. Shows the authenticity of your book is wonderful.
Oh, thank you, Ethnicity. Mhm.
Okay, so Kathy was asking where, I mean, it's all in the show description, but where can you get your book for our audio listeners and such?
Absolutely. So you can find my book actually on a website specifically for it. It's starlitpaths.ca.
Got it.
And you'll get to read all about the book on there.
Mhm.
And then Amazon is what it'll direct you to. So you
Right.
can find the book on Amazon.
Mhm.
And yeah, and you were asking about star seeds and star seed energy.
Mhm.
One other thing, and not as a promotion to sell, know your limits, purchase responsibly, all that stuff. But um, there is also a star seed guide, and it is based in astrology and in the human design gene keys. So that is also able to be accessed through the Starlit Paths site.
Wow. Mhm.
So it does the sun, the ascendant, and I believe the moon is what I did for star seeds. And then the next section through the other placements is all just the basic astrology. But then there's a frequency section. So in the gene keys, if you're familiar with that, it's Richard Rudd, who did the gene keys, that studied human design, which is kind of our blueprint for who we are in this lifetime. And the first part of the gene keys, thank you, Kaylee, said that the guide was accurate. That's awesome. And so that part talks about the four gates that make up our sun and earth for our personality and design. And basically what that means, it's our incarnation cross. It's our purpose. It's why we're here in this lifetime.
Mhm.
And it looks at the shadow aspect, the gift or the alignment part, and then the siddhi or the enlightened state of those energies.
Mhm.
So it talks about that, but it also brings in the galactic understanding of the history and how those energies show up.
Mhm.
The third part of the guide goes into a real breakdown of how to deep dive into your chart and all of the different galactic energies.
Wow. It's intense, but it's wonderful all at the same time. Not like everyday life intense either. It's like a good intense,
Mm.
you know. Well, thank you so much for hanging out tonight and having this incredible conversation, indulging us in your wisdom. you
Thank
know.
you for having me. This has been wonderful. And I love the conversation that's going on.
Oh, they're
It is
great. Sometimes there's a whole world going on. You mentioned banana bread. There was baking stuff going on in there and all kinds of things. It's
I
great.
love that.
They're awesome. You'll find that a lot of these folks will migrate over, to your show as well. And it's going to be really awesome to have you part of our UPRN family. And I know I'm so excited. And when the other shows start coming on, you guys are just going to be loaded in for bear with a lot of great content. See, look, it's still on about the banana bread.
I love it.
I think he started something there. So, but and yes, community. That's exactly right. We love it, and we appreciate you guys so very much in the chat room. You just make it that much more fun. So just so you know, we appreciate you all. And of course, you have been listening to The Outer Realm, and our special guest has been Jennifer Jurkofsky. So grateful for you sharing time with us with your knowledge. And for those of you guys who are here and going to tune in tomorrow night, we're going to be doing a whole other flip tomorrow night. Laura Lee Potvay, who of course has 2 shows here on the network, The Angel Rock and Beneath the Hollow Moon, Carolyn Shellhorn, joins me for technically part 3 of the Celebrity Death series, which we started on Beyond the Outer Realm. But this is part 2 of Paul, aka Paul McCartney, the other McCartney. But this time we're going to be going a little bit deeper into the very well researched article by the amazing Andrew Gow. Just love this man. He is just brilliant. Anyway, it includes alleged information about Beatles' satanic and Illuminati connections, which may have led to concerns with Paul McCartney, of course. So go check out the last archive if you want to catch up. But if you all want to cheat, which I'm okay with, you can go find a link to the article in the show description. So you can get a head start on it. So how about that? So love you all, and we shall see you tomorrow night. And thank you again, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.